welcome everyone. Welcome. It's good to have you all today. I'm excited about this program and the conversation that we're about to have. Please, I would like to know if you can hear me live on YouTube. Please just post a comment in the comment section if you can hear me live on YouTube. Please do that now, please, to help us know that you can hear us. So can you hear us live on YouTube? Any comments? Can you hear us live? Right? And I've played some music, but I don't have any right now. So yeah, you can hear me? All right, awesome. Okay, thank you for being here and happy International Youth Day to everyone who considers themselves a youth, right? If you're in Nigeria, you're still a youth up to age 65, you know. Some other countries might have some other ages, but you know, here we are still young, vibrant, energetic, starting new stuff, even at 65, right? So it's good to be celebrating this day, right? We're doing this also in honor of the work that we do, right? The work that we do as Jewels Network. So I'm going to just be introducing Jewels Network right now, and then we'll get straight into the conversation. First of all, I will apologize for starting a little late. Again, we had some technical glitches, but that is what we face in our country. But I can assure you that it's getting better and better. The internet is getting better. So my name is Ihotsu Eritosin Gregory. I am the founder and executive director of Jewels Ladies Foundation, with an alias as Jewels Network. So if you're looking for us on any social media platform, please look for Jewels Network. If you're looking for us on our website, please also look for jewelsnetwork.org. Right, we have been working in the social impact space for about 5 years. This is our 6th year, and in that time, we have been able to do quite a bit of work in communities, adopting communities, and helping the women, vulnerable women and girls in that community with a lot of various projects and programs and events that we've been able to hold. In March, in the honor, right, let me use that word, in honor of the International Women's Day in March, we had the program about mental health and how it affects widows, single mothers, and women with absentee husbands. And I will ask you to go check out that video. It was an amazing, robust conversation. And we felt that to continue that conversation and just to add more light to what we've been talking about, we should talk about the Youth Day, which is today. And we should talk about ageism and inclusion. And I would like to give an introduction to what those things are. The word ageism really just refers to age, you know, and the differences, the different generations and how things apply to them based on age categories that we have. And the UN has also adopted that word, and so we have all also adopted the word, right? So ageism is just how the world rotates around different ages and how we are able to adapt, adopt, and live based on that fragmentation, right? It's not all positive, it's not all negative, and today we're going to talk about that. Now, our concern is that in Jewels Network, we work with a lot of young people, right? We work with a lot of teenagers, you know, female teenagers, girls that are budding, that have big dreams in low-income communities. And then we see things that people now call Gen Z's stereotypes, right? And it's a concern to us because if you're telling us that this is all Gen Z or Gen Z this and that, how do we integrate these people into our lives, into our offices, into our institutions, into our spaces? How do we live side by side with them? And so that's what this conversation is about. It's also about inclusion. So we teamed with ageism and inclusion. How do we include people from different ages into our lives, into our progress, into the things that we are doing? And I have with me some amazing cerebral people here today who are going to lend their voices to this based on their experiences. So they are all youths, by the way, right? And they are all from different sectors and different areas, and they're going to be helping us see, right, clearly those things that we need to see today and those things that we need to talk about. So I'm going to be introducing them, and then we'll just start asking questions and we'll just have a talk, and in an hour we are done, hopefully, right? If we are not enjoying ourselves too much, right? So I'm going to start from Ayodele please just bear with me, right? My Yoruba tongue hasn't entered fully, right? It's coming. I promise you, it's coming, but it's not yet there. All right, right. And he's popularly known as Sako, right? Sako is, I want to read his profile, but it's so long. Sako is an international phenomenon when it comes to platforms and comparing and hosting of events, and just he has this sense of humor that is undeniable. I personally have Sako. He knows that he's my favorite MC, my favorite compare. You know, I call him my mentor because he has done so much across countries. Sako is flown across the world to host events. He speaks fluently. He's a thought leader because he has very cerebral thinking about the different things that are happening, and he can lend his voice to literally many topics, especially things that have to do with mentoring and role modeling, and how that has helped in inclusion for him and for the people that he has worked with, because he's also a mentor of younger people and he has mentors that are older than him and role models. So please celebrate Sako anyhow you can. Maybe you can put some things in the chat and so on and so forth. Right, then I'm going to introduce Titi Ogubambi. Titi is a very good friend of mine. Titi has worked with people, women dealing with gender-based violence, and she has so many stories that will break your heart, but also stories that will give you hope that things are being done and people are speaking out and they're coming out. And she has watched people from different ages and categories live in this spectrum. She has watched young ladies struggle with not getting married early because their parents are insisting because they want a future and to live dreams. She has watched old people tell her stories of how they left marriages of years and years of domestic abuse or different things. And she's here to just share with us how she thinks the world can do better by allowing these people come in as they are, right? Right. And then the phenomenal Dr. Ruth Aisaboke is here. She is an amazing, intelligent person, right? Anybody that knows her knows that she's always the top of the cadre, right? She's my sister, and I'm really, really proud about all her accomplishments. Currently, she's working with Microsoft and she's doing so many other things. I don't know how she does all of it. But the point is that she takes her time to learn processes and systems and the way things work and how to include people in it. So if you talk about her to anybody, they tell you how she's friends with people of all ages and how she's able to work with people and manage them. And that's why she has also been able to grow very quickly, right, in the ranks at work and in different places. All right, so that's my informal introductions of everyone, but let's get straight into the conversation. And the first question I'll ask, and I'm throwing this question to everyone, and I want to start with Ruth. So we'll go with Ruth, then Titi, and then Sako, right? Have you, as an individual, as a person, experienced ageism, right? And if you have, how did it feel? What was your takeout from it? You know, what did you decide after that experience?
Okay, so when I hear ageism, I think about disrespect and disregard for older people. So I'm already biased towards how I think about ageism. And actually, when I saw this topic, that's all I was thinking about, like how we need to include older people. We need to, do more to ensure that we have older voices at the table. And I think I'm a bit biased there because I work for a tech company that hires a lot of young people, right? So I'm going to have to do this mental shift here now to the reverse, where we're talking about young people, not older people. But ageism can go both ways. I would say I've lived in different parts of the world, and Asia, Europe, the US, and Nigeria. And I think ageism shows up in different ways. So that's how I would say it at first. I feel like in Asia and Africa, there's more ageism against younger people, right? And then it's kind of reversed in the more developed countries. Because here, in the US, there's more of a bias against older people. So the young people rule, the younger you are, the harder you are, and things like that. But in the context of Africa, which is our, where we're coming from, I would say I experienced ageism because I graduated super early from high school, from university, and a lot of my classmates were always much older. And even when I started work as well. So they would say things like, please go and sit down, you're a small girl. You don't know anything, you know, please don't worry, when you reach our age, you understand. And so ageism was there. That kind of ageism was always that wisdom was correlated to age, which is not necessarily always true, right? So I experienced some of that, you know, in social circles, at work when I started working in Nigeria, and having to shut up where other people were talking because I was younger, when I had my own ideas to share. So what was the second part of the question?
No, you've literally answered both. You know, I asked that, have you experienced it? And
Yes.
how did it make you feel? And you've really analyzed it for us, saying that you can differentiate that. I've experienced that, what you're talking about too, because I noticed that in America, there's preferential treatment. You know, I used to say that, oh, my mom always gets these super discounts, right? Because she's, you know, at this age when we go to stores like Macy's or, you know, those kind of things. And, you know, I've seen that happen. Even in the UK, I've experienced that as well. So thank you very much for that. That's a fantastic introduction for us as well. So Titi, can we hear from you? What have you experienced?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ihotu, for having me. And I also thank Ruth, you know, for breaking the ice, because we all can connect with your story. So for me, ageism is always a great topic. And like Ruth mentioned, initially we used to target to older people, but now we are trying to, you know, understand how it affects both the young people and the old people alike. And, you know, it's, for me, I feel you either experience it at the early part of your career or when you're getting old. So my story is a little bit different from Ruth's story, because for me, I think taking off at my early stage, it was a little bit late. So the kind of stereotypes I got was like, oh, your mates are already in university and you are still here, you can't even pass jam. Or your mates are already getting married and see you, you're not even, you don't even have a boyfriend, you know? So these things are, for me, I see them as very little in, you know, people just say it and they don't know how it affects individuals' mental health. They don't know how it affects individuals from being encouraged to even do better. So I feel right now, young people are dealing with these things negatively, because when you talk down on them, instead of them, for me, when they talk down on me, then it made me gather myself and do better. And for people now, I think they take it negatively and they maybe withdraw into their shell and they become depressed and, you know, they just be discouraged automatically. So one of the strategies I used for myself then that really worked was, like I mentioned, it made me work hard. And then looking back in the years now, I see that those people that were actually ahead of me, that finished university way before me, we are all on the same level now, or have even gone past them. You get, so just like an introduction, ageism affects all ages. And then I guess, you know, more interesting.
Thank you so much, Titi. So Sako International, are you there? You're muted.
Yes, so yes, thank you for making it very easy for me. You basically talked about when, as a master of ceremonies, when I got into the job, there were some kind of events I couldn't do because of age. So I got in at my late 20s. My late teen. I was 18, 19 when I started doing the job, and you just hear you can't go a 50th birthday because you're just 18, 19. And it made me look like, just wait until I get to 25, you will understand. But I realized that even that in this sector of the industry, there's some kind of job that clients won't give to you when they find out how old you are. That's why you see some entertainers do not even want to let people know how old. I know a lady that do not want to let people know how old she is. They just allow people to assume, you know, because she said if you let them know you're 40, there's some events, there's some younger events you can't do. And so, and it has to even do with, as a father, as a parent, I realized that there were a lot of things that they said to us that we couldn't even achieve as a child. But if you check online now, you see a lot of young persons achieving those things. My children, when they say they want to do anything, I tell them you can do it.
Yeah.
It's not that my son says he wants to join the army. I said you can't do the army right now. When you are 18, you will join the army. But guess what? There might even be flexible. It's not in the country at the moment. But every day I said, Daddy, I want to become an army. I want to become. I said, I want to become an army now. I said, Daddy, wait, just before you become any soldier or anything, calm down, friends. Just go to school. Ageism has to do with both young persons and like Titi said, I also had to write. I remember I had to write WAEC in my almost early 20s because I went to University of Ilorin. I did accounting and data processing. I wanted to run a course in Unilag and said I had to use one sitting. University of Ilorin, I use 2 sittings. But Unilag said I had to use 1 sitting.
I think
so
I had to
go.
That
Oh, can you hear me? Is it low?
Yes, can, but you're a little low. Can you?
Is it good? Is it good now? Is it better now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I had to go write WAEC again somewhere in Abeokuta. In fact, when I was in school, when we used to have external students come and I said, this old person is writing, and this old person is writing WAEC, he's writing NECO, what are they doing? I didn't know the same thing was going to happen to me after I graduated from University of Ilorin to write WAEC. Because I said to myself, I just wanted to get a creative course, in University of Lagos. When I got to that school, it dawned on me that I was really, really old. You just hear, look at that uncle, look at that uncle. Eventually, I wrote the WAEC. The result didn't come out eventually, but I did other courses, But I understand it could be a barrier. It could make someone feel that you've not achieved anything. And there's no time that you can achieve greatness. There's no age. Once you determine and say, I'm ready to achieve it, it's open.
Yeah. So, this leads me to my next question, and I'll give an example from my experience. Are there stereotypes that are damaging to the thought processes or to what people do based on ageism, right? Or are there things that enhance? Are there stereotypes about ageism that actually will enhance our integration and inclusion and all that? Let me give you an example. When I moved to Lagos and I started working, a lot of what I had heard before I came to Lagos, and started working for the person I was working with at the time, was that I was too young and I was too ambitious and I was too this, I needed to slow down, I needed to calm down, and those kind of things. You can't get it now at the age that you are, and so on. And I unconsciously, I allowed those things seep into my subconscious, right? So when the person I was working with at the time asked me if I could do some things, I was like, no, I'm not old enough. I can't do this. And he was like, who told you these things? He was really worried about me, like, who told you these things? You can. But my background and where I was coming from was limiting me. So I had that limiting belief system that I do not have now, because after experience, I realized that, oh my God, there are a lot of things I could have achieved between 18 and 25 if I knew that I could, right? So all the young people around me know I put them under a lot of tension. I'm like, go for it, just apply, just get it done, right? This is the time that you can do that. Oh, we have a guest, special guest, right? And so for me, a lot of things that people say to us, people outside us, outside you, those voices can damage your own expectations and your desires. That can be because of the stereotype that is put to what you can achieve at what age. And that was for me. Now, the things I'm doing now, I feel I could have done it before I was 35. If I just knew I could, so any examples from anyone, we can just shoot, right? What are the things that we think are stereotypes that are damaging, or are even stereotypes that are enhancing? So for me, stereotypes around age, even though I think that some of these organizations should remove the age barriers and let people apply and do what they want, but also that gives young people ambition. That stereotype around this program or this thing is for 18 to 35 or 25 gives young people ambition, helps them with exposure. And I think for me, that's enhancing, right? Meanwhile, the other side might be damaging. So please, let's hear from you, Ruth. What do you think? What are things that can be enhancing or damaging, like stereotypes around age or so on?
I think, like you said, when you box opportunities into 8 categories. Mm-hmm. That could be enhancing. I still feel that we can't ignore age, right? Completely, because for example, there are jobs that require people lifting, like very physically draining work.
Yeah,
and so those jobs are often written in the description. But there are people who feel like, I just need to make ends meet, so I'm going to apply for the job, when clearly they cannot do the job. So I think that sometimes those age limits are given, like there are organizations where they say you have to join before you're 35 or 40. That's also because you need to meet certain requirements before you can retire. You need to have worked 10 years before you retire, or that kind of thing. So in that kind of case, it favors younger people, right? It favors people because it's like you have that opportunity to come in early and make a difference. I feel like if we look at it the other way, there are boards or boardrooms or even the government, politics, where young people are not given a chance. It's in fact, when you hear of a 31-year-old or 35-year-old as a commissioner in a seat of power, everybody says, wow. Yeah. Because we just have this mindset that places of power and authority and rulership should be for older people. But that's not always the truth. Look at Queen Elizabeth. When did she become queen? At 22. She's had a very successful reign. Of course, there's been controversies and scandals and so on. But generally, altogether, she's had a very successful tenure. We also have examples from the Bible, for instance, of very young people becoming kings and coming to places of authority. So I feel like there is that opportunity to give younger people a chance, to prove themselves by giving them more opportunity. We should have seats of government where we say, to be in the House of Reps or whatever, you have to be between 25 to 45 or something. Like, change the game, bring fresh voices into the room, bring youth into the room. Excuse me. So let me stop so that we can hear from others.
All right, Titi.
Yeah, so I'll definitely like to take it from the point that age, gender are those things that actually carry a lot of stereotypes, especially in the Nigerian context. I like to put gender because I work with a lot of women, and you see job roles out there and they say a male candidate. And also you see some that they say a female candidate. For me, I feel there should be a level ground for everybody that has the qualifications and the capacity to do the job, instead of stereotyping their sex or their age and all that. Another thing I would like to emphasize is leadership and governance. Obviously, in Nigeria, we have less than 5% women, ruling in the parliament. And we also have, how many? I don't even know if we have some youths less than 40. Yes, I know we have few of them. But before we even got them to pass the policy that the youth age for you to be able to contest, I think we got it to 35 or something. It took so much. The adverse of all these things we're speaking about today on the economy is evident. But one thing I like to tell youths or the young people is that if they don't give you that seat on the table, you got to bring your folding chair.
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
What are you doing with the capacity and the capabilities you have? Yesterday, I hosted just a show like this, and the lady said, what is your personal development? And I'm telling you, youths, if you're online today, I call myself an older youth because I'm close to 40, but Ihotu just made us youths all over again. If you have a smartphone and you're not using it to make money or to enhance your skills, then you're wasting your time. If you're saying you're going to wait to get jobs, we know the economy is in shambles. How many people, if an organization puts out, recruitment advertisement, you get over 5,000 people, trying to get that job. And we know that like 75% or 60% of people in Nigeria use. But you have that your smartphone. Do you know how many people are making money from that smartphone? So are you using it to do TikTok? Are you using it to snap pictures? Or are you using it to enhance your skills so that you can be able to sit at the table somewhere and make your, you know? Another thing is that you just have to keep building capacity.
Yeah.
Why are you building capacity? I'm going to land here. Why are you building capacity? Like we women, I always tell them, just because they don't give us that opportunity, you need to bring something extra. So that when they're saying, okay, we need somebody that can do this, you say, oh, yes, I have the degree and I have a PhD on top of it.
Yes, we usually do.
You get. So I'm landing here, but we'll continue.
Yeah. Okay, so before Sako comes back, I want us to jump into Gen Z, right? Gen Z, our special people, special humans, right? Let me tell you the foundation I want to use for this conversation now. I have a friend of mine, she's quite popular, so I won't call her name because I didn't take permission to do that. And she was trying to hire new staff into her organization, right? She's about my age, so, you know. And, you know, everybody wants fresh blood, fresh ideas, you know, young people come and mix into, you know, and see what we can do. And she got this person, or these two people, even three, I think, that were great at the interviews and all that. And they are all Gen Z. They're in that category called Gen Z. And time to resume, two of them didn't show up, right? And so after like maybe 2 days or 3 days, they call one of them, why haven't you shown up and all that? She said, oh, that she just decided that it was a little too stressful for her, right? At the time, she can't take it on anymore. It's just too stressful. And they're like, it's not even started the job. You don't have your job description clearly spelled out. How have you decided for yourself that it's too stressful? And she was like, nah, she's not ready to work that long. All right, cool. The second person instead sent a letter, a contract letter to the company stating what the terms of her employment should be. He or her, I'm not sure, should be. And they were in shock. I don't even know how she resolved that, but she was in so much shock. She had to take to social media to ask, is this what's happening now? Are the employers the ones now getting contract letters, or are they the ones giving out? So, you know, that brings us to this topic of this Gen Z people. I think that they're spontaneous and they're eclectic, and the world they're living in now is such a global village that they think they can be everywhere at the same time using the internet. And I think that has given them some kind of background thinking to say that, you know, they can be anything and do anything, which is a good dream, but is that realistic? Right? Is it realistic? And how then are we going to integrate them into our regimented structures or the systems and the structures of our institutions and workspaces that currently exist? So Ruth, you're the one with me right now. So I'll throw it to you because I know that you experience this every single day, considering where you work and the people you interact with. So please help us understand.
No, I think I want you to restate the question. But before then, it would have been good to explain to people who don't know what Gen Z is.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Gen Z is.
Have that, or do you want? I think it's people born.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, please.
I'm not. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's people born between about 1997 to 2012. So that's those people that are like.
After the millennials, so they are Gen Z is the next. So those that are millennials are just older than Gen Z.
Yeah, in terms of age, they are what, like teenagers now, like 10
they are
years
young
old,
adults. Yeah, there should be young adults, like from 18 to like 30, thereabout, or 27-ish. So you're correct. So thereabout, but we just consider them millennials. So after the millennials, which some of us belong to, then we have the Gen Z. Yeah.
Okay. So so your question again, how can we
integrate them into our regimented structures and systems that work right now for us? We're seeing the world seems to work. Our workspaces are functional, whether it's hybrid or remote or whatever. But the Gen Z people seem to just struggle with all the sense of how we do these things and how we work. So how do we include them? How do we bring them in? How do we help them be part of what we are doing? And then when Sako and Titi come back, they'll talk to us about mentoring. I think Sako will take that. Yeah, let's go.
You know, it's something that needs to be given a lot of thought to. Just like how we've worked on gender biases and stereotypes over decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we say, oh, we need to have at least one woman here, or we need to,
Yeah.
when we're putting category or structures together, we need to actually intentionally include younger people, or
Yeah.
we have to, because they make up a significant portion of our world, right? And we can't just ignore them.
Yeah.
You know, it's important to bring every voice to the table so that our solutions, our innovation can be holistic and can be for all. Because when we are innovating, when we're marketing, when we're, selling, we're selling to the world, right? Except you have a demographic you want to sell to. And so it's so important to, if we need to be intentional and create special categories to ensure that people that are younger have a voice in the table, because there's a generational divide, right? Like this story you shared, I can't imagine someone in my generation or my dad's generation doing that. Like who does that? But you said the effrontery, the boldness, the realization that, hey, I want it to work for me as well, and this is how I think, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to meet them in the middle. We can't say, oh, you're a small girl, or what do you know in my time? No. Gen Z is the generation that prioritizes their mental health. They're not going to be stressed by the cares of this life, and we may say, oh, that's being lazy, but actually, there's some wisdom there. We need to come to the middle and say, tell us what you think about this. Why do you think that way? And we also share what we think, as well, because one day they also will be older, right? So it's like one day they also will be older.
And they will be dealing with this because we have kids and we are wondering how our kids know how to operate iPhones before they are 4, right? Yes. It's crazy.
Yes. And so there's something, they like, for example, a lot of younger people now don't write well. Like their handwritings are poor. But they
use shorthand, Ruth. They use shorthand a lot. And like if a young person sends me a message, it's hard to read because D is D, N is N.
Acronyms. And you're like, what?
Acronyms. And they're so technologically way more advanced. And we need that. We need that to transform our businesses, transform our processes.
Yeah.
So it's so important to intentionally, create classifications or categories too. Not necessarily to exclude older people, but to make sure that we have younger voices on the table.
Balance. Yeah. So Titi, how do you think we can get a balance, especially in institutions? Because I know you work in an institution, right? Institutions where some older people need to leave some roles. They need to retire or work less or something, or go part-time. And we need to have some younger people fill this role. How do we create a balance between the way these people were working before and the way these new people want to work without crashing the structure of the organization, right? That integration is so critical.
Yeah, very critical. I also agree with Ruth that it has to take a bottom-top approach and a top-bottom approach to meet in the middle ground, because the older people need to be sensitized and informed that what your expectations from these people is different. And you, the younger ones, are supposed to understand that these people don't understand. You might have to use a different method to approach whatever way you want to do things. So I would like to talk about 3 strategies that we can use to eliminate ageism. One is policies and law. I just finished my master's in international development and policy. Ruth, we need to talk about this.
No, she's there. I told you already now. I mentioned it to you. Yes, I did.
At the University of Chicago, where I did public policy. And I began to understand how important policies and laws are in any structure, whether governance, whether organizations, in the society at large. In organizations, every organization have policies. Before you join an organization, you should study the policy of that organization. How long are you going to remain in one position? So if you're a young person coming at 20, How long will it take you to become a director in that company? Do you want to be stuck there? So laws and policies are so important, even in, you know, governance and policy in the society at large.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, in the gender space, the VAMP Act is something that we've been working on to pass. That VAMP Act has a lot of laws that protect women's rights, you know, children's rights, the child marriage and all that. So policies and laws are very important, but it's not enough to write policies and pass them. Implementation is key. How are we implementing those laws? How are those strategies? How are we enlightening those people? That brings me to my second strategy, educational activities. When you implement laws, you set rules and regulations. How do you educate people to understand? So even some Gen Z, they really don't understand why they are behaving in the way they are behaving. So they have to be aware of themselves. They have to understand that, oh, I'm actually created this way, and this is how I think. Like you said, they think so fast, they are very industrious and all that. But you don't expect them to behave like us that are strategic. Me and EO2, we sit down and think things through before we jump into it. Why they go right into it, they are not ready to think about it. Educational activities is key. And the last one is intergenerational interventions. Organizations need to think about a way to put an older person and a younger person to work together. Me and EO2 were having a conversation. As an organization, do you have somebody? I know you said it, like I was saying I have an issue with, you know, giving somebody boundless South Africa. I've been away for 2 years. It's been hard to get somebody to take over the organization from me. We have to derive that strategy of how to work with those young people. You're passing down the knowledge, you're passing down the capacity to them so that they can fill that space in the nearer future. And that is where intergenerational interventions, you know, come to play. Organizations,
because there are gaps.
There are huge gaps. In country level too, in Liberia, a classmate of mine is a junior minister in Liberia. So in every ministerial office in Liberia, they have a senior minister and a junior minister, and the junior minister has to be less than 30 or maybe less than 35. So they are working on that intergenerational interventions, and they, at the end of the day, they get to work together, and there's progress, there's development. Thank you.
Yes, and everybody is represented. Everybody is represented. Every generation is properly represented. So there is nothing like even handover. We are working together, and we're able to have better results because, to be honest, the Gen Z or the millennials, we can even include the millennials here, have faster ways of working, of thinking. I don't know, it's just how we were built. You know, processing is faster. We're looking for ways to, to remove bureaucracy and things like that. I just had some conference, right, with some of these really older organizations, and up till now, 2 weeks or more after the conference, they're still trying to settle some things and send some bills. And I'm like, look, they're faster ways. If they could outsource the organization to me, you know, I could already think being there, 2 or 3 things that they could have done to just make it seamless and faster. So I think
that's what you're too sorry. They don't know the fact that if you have a younger person working with you, the person will be thinking ahead of you. So the balance is there, and it won't leave that vacuum that we always have.
And this brings me to the next thing, the mentoring, the role modeling, the hand-holding. We cannot have a world without models, role models, and I know Sako had mentors and he quickly jumped back in.
I see him.
It's so important, you know. And I'm trying to get you to be spotlighted again so we can see, I don't know, add spotlight, I think it's okay. Okay, right? It's so critical. It's so important that we have the opportunity to handhold people, you know, and to help them. So Sako, I need you now, right? Right. So while he's coming back with his video,
I was ready all of a sudden. I was trying to put the virtual, but I think I'll just do the normal one.
No, you can go on. It was okay. It was actually fine.
It was okay. Yes. You know, that's where we need the Gen Zs, where we have to respect them and honor them, to let them know that Oh wow! So what's happening now? It was actually fantastic. So I was excited, looking forward to it. Okay, but I think I can go on with the conversation. Is it okay to go on with the conversation? For me, mentoring is something that I'm where I am today because of mentorship. It's basically it's a shortcut to success, but there is no shortcut to success. You know, it's the mentorship has different meaning. It's a symbiotic relationship between a protege and a mentor. But I would say to you, I would not have achieved the things I've achieved today. First, because of my parents, but people that stood as parents in my life. And for mentors in the industry that I belong to right now, as a married man, I have mentors. I have mentors, both male and female, and I am where I am today because of them, because they held my hand. Even when I fell and I thought I couldn't do it, they've encouraged me to let me know that possibilities, to see possibilities in anything I'm doing. And I think the Gen Z world right now is something that they need to take advantage of it. Yes, some which we're not going to categorize and make it 100% of the Gen Z. Some people believe that they don't need mentors. I've seen a Gen Z say to themselves, I got where I am today, I'm a made man. Nobody is a made man. Nobody gets to the top. Somebody brings you to the top. Somebody mentions your name. No matter how, nobody created a space for you. No matter how smart you think you are, somebody confirmed you into that. Most of the gigs that we get today, somebody mentioned our name. Somebody mentioned our name. So you can't say that I can do without you. You can't do without people. People actually mention them. People so some people say they don't want to have mentors, but they have role models, because some people have watched some people to the extent that they know things about them, and they're different between a mentor and a role model. A role model is someone that you see from afar, you study the person, but you don't have a one-on-one relationship with the person. While mentor is somebody that knows that you exist in the first place, knows your name, possibly even knows your phone number, and can relate with you anytime. So mentorship is something that I'm in on, and I will say to you, mentorship has taken me to places I never imagined today. So I'm interested. You're already getting to the field where I feel that the Gen Zs can take advantage of it by submitting themselves. And I appreciate what Titi talked about, policies. I think it's a new one. I think it's something I have to even begin to put into my organization to say, you know what, you want to get into this place. This is the policy of this. Of what this is what is going to take you to get to this place. I agree.
Just contact me. I can help you design all your policies.
All right.
You're my best friend. You're my best friend.
I'm right here.
You're my best friend. No, you're the best friend to my best. You are the best friend to my best friend.
All right. So, I had an experience recently that will bring me to my next question, and then we'll just begin to round up maybe like 10 minutes. I have mentoring programs for women. So I focus on mentoring women because, that's really where my calling is, an assignment really. And I have this program I was running for a number of people. I try not to take too many people in because, this wasn't a group mentoring. It was like more personal. And I noticed that after a while, some of the people, the people that were Gen Z in that category, will reach out to me and say, they don't think they can continue with this. They are busy right now. They have things they're doing in their life that are taking up time. And so they can't focus on this. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I'll try to have a conversation to say, okay, what are you doing? And let me hear. And then they tell me all they're doing. And I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, that's maybe like 50% of what I'm doing right now. Right, but I still have time and I'm still paying them attention, right? I still make out time in the nights to mentor, early in the morning to mentor, to hold meetings and conferences and do that and all that. And I'm building new companies and trying to become like a compare, like Sako, that's why he's my mentor, and things like that. And they're too busy. You need this number. Oh, somebody told me, I have to sleep 10 hours every night to function very well. I said, how old are you again?
I can't remember when last I had 8 hours.
So I think that there are some challenges that we have with these people. No matter how cerebral and good and eclectic and spontaneous and talented and creative and innovative and all that they are, I think that there are ways that they are being unhealthy about some of them, about their growth processes and so on. And I would like us to just talk about that. What are the healthy ways, suggestions that we can talk about today that can help them see that they have to be included in our lives and our society. They're not living in a different world, right? They are living in our world, and they have to understand how to integrate with us and how the world will probably throw things at them, right? That they need to learn from either mentoring or role modeling. So I'm just seeking healthy ways to foster this. How can we talk about, just, any ideas we have, healthy ways? Titi has said a lot, but let's bring it home to our people with examples that we've had, or anything like that.
So I just want to talk briefly so that I'll give other people time to talk. I really like the fact that Sako said mentorship, brought him to the level he is right now in life. But for some of us, maybe it didn't really work.
Yeah.
I really wanted mentors, and I used to look up to a lot of people. And I like you when you said indirect mentors, like Okonjo-Iweala is my mentor. I've never met her before, but she's someone I look up to, and I really want to be like her. But for me, at the beginning, I identified people and I reached out to them. I really couldn't get the access I needed from those people. And the ones I got access to, they don't have the time. So I guess that's one of the limitations that Gen Z might face, because you are trying to get in contact with somebody that you really want to be your mentor, and you don't have access to that person.
I have exactly the same experience.
Exactly. One of the strategies I use that worked for me is that I identified people that are on my level, that are either doing better than me, or people that I could get access to somebody. So there was a friend of my sister that was doing, similar things as I was doing. And all I had to do was to reach out to my sister to connect me to her. Then personally, in my network, who are your network? Those your friends that are doing better. Ihotuka is one of my mentors. I can say it anywhere, because anything I want to do, I reach out to her. So you really don't have to have that huge picture of one mentor doing one great thing there before you can get access to somebody to support you to whatever
I agree. And something that Sako said, right, I had heard it too, and I've heard it said by some other people that I really respect as role models, like Nia Desanya has said it, and Larry Olushola, and some of those people that are also in part of the sectors I work in. It's that you have to be available to be mentored. You have to be available. You have to be teachable. You have to want to evolve, right? Mentoring cuts across all generations now. It cuts across ageism. Anybody can mentor anybody. Like you said, if somebody knows what you want to know and what you want to learn, you go learn it. You go sit down and learn it. And then you'll be available to serve them. You'll be available to contribute to what they are doing so that they can even make time out for you. That's how it works. And
then another thing, Iho, too, what are you bringing? Mentor, you don't go and meet a mentor and say, sir, this is what I want, this is what I want. What are you going to offer to that your mentor?
Yes.
So I'm going to meet somebody to say that, please, I want you to help me to do. And in turn, I can help you organize your calendar. Such minimal.
Yes. I basically, but can I tell you the truth? At the beginning, sometimes some people do not even have anything to offer. The only thing they can offer is basically their service, and say to you, like you said, why Steve Harris is relevant today. Steve Harris listened to Mr. Peladro speak at an event, or he listened to him speak at an event, and he said to him, how can he be a blessing? So I agree. He knew that he had something to offer. So what he did was he began to help him convert his tape into CDs. And that was how from Iyanopaja, he would go to VGC. And today, Steve Harris is a brand on his own, but he knew that there was a space, all right? And sometimes at the beginning, some people even feel they don't have anything to offer. But even your service to even hang around and help the person, run errands, it's a service on its own.
Let me give you an example.
Gen Z will not run errands, though.
Yeah, let me give you an example. It happened to me. So I had the program.
But you're stereotyping. Right? Titi, you're stereotyping. Some of them will run errands.
Some of them will.
We're just having a conversation.
Let me give you an example.
But one of the things that I found out about the Gen Z, some Gen Zs, is that when you correct them, they take offense in correction. They just stomp their face. And I say, what's wrong with you? I just cautioned you for something you did wrong, and you're already changing. And I had to talk to one of them. I say, you know what? I'm not going to correct you again, because I realize that when I correct you, you don't take correct. You get offended when they just feel, some of them, and I will say to you, not all of them, but sometimes 20% of the Gen Zs that I've worked with, when you correct them, they see it as an offense to correct them. They feel that I didn't do anything wrong. Why would you correct me?
Yeah,
but
the understanding of respect is a little different from our understanding.
It's different.
Right, so let me give an example, and we'll be rounding up shortly. Yeah, I know.
In Jesus' name.
I know everybody.
I'm good to go on.
All right, I'm just really enjoying myself.
I'm good to go on too.
I have to run soon, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I know Titi is working on her book launch. She has a book called Emerge. It's going to be launched on the 27th of August at the and it's about, yes, please send your IV. It's about gender-based violence, and it's an amazing book. I have had the privilege of reading it, and I'm just so touched, impressed, and everything.
That's good.
Well done.
That's good.
All right. Okay. So I had a project to run for an organization, as a volunteer, but it was a large project. It was called Financial Transformation. So they had all these young people of all ages, right? Maybe we can say between maybe 24 to 40 or so, sign up to this program, almost 1,000 of them. And, I was running that program, and I got someone to volunteer to support me, like an assistant. And she was amazing. Amazing. I begged her, can I employ you in my organization? Can you please come and work with me? She said, oh, she just accepted the job somewhere, so she couldn't work, but she was so good that I was offering her a job. And then I found out later that 3 or 4 other people that were mentors on that program offered that same person jobs. She is a young person. She's in her mid-20s or something, but she was so good. She was level-headed. She was intelligent. She was multitasking. She was organized. She could write really well. That's another problem I found with these younger people. Their business writing skills are a lot of, Anyway, so after she left, I had the privilege to speak on the platform. A lot of women were at that conference, and it was an amazing time. And afterwards, different people come to talk to you, take pictures. It was good. And then this lady came and met me and said, please, can you mentor me? Please, can I come and work for you, please? She's young. She's maybe 19 or 20 or thereabout. You were so great. I see myself in you and all what they say. And I'm like, okay, let's see. So she comes to my house, and I take her with me for a meeting. Day 1, she goes, I have this organizational design meeting in an organization, and she sat through it. I just thought somewhere and be working on some calendars and things. And then the next day, after the next day she came, she saw me work. I think maybe I had trainings or something, I don't know. I have not seen that girl since the second day. So I saw her maybe 2 or 3 weeks after. I'm like, what happened? She said, oh, I was really sick. I was not well. I said, for how long? For a week. Okay, are you okay now? Fine. Silence again for a month. I'm like, what happened? And I got the impression that she felt that the work was overwhelming. Oh my God, I can't do all this work in one day. And I'm like, oh, you are so young. You see, that's the challenge I have. I feel like the younger you are, the more energy you should have, the more ambitious you should be, and the more you want to conquer territories. And my concern is that some of these younger people are looking at the older people that kind of life has passed. We don't need to live like this anymore. We just need to do 1 or 2 things over the internet. Build a tech company that will receive seed funding in millions, then sell it, and then put all the money into Forex or Bitcoin. That's what they say. And it's concerning to me, because how will our world be? How would our world be in another 20, 30, 50 years? This mindset. So, how do we help? What do we do, right? There's no Gen Z on this conversation, because I wanted us to pull our thoughts together, and then maybe we'll have another conversation where we bring 2 or 3 of them in and hear their opinion, right? What do we do? All right, so let's just jump in and talk. What do you think? Where are we going? How do we help? Right, I'm just in awe. I've tried to hire and fire. It has been hiring and firing and hiring and firing for so many organizations for me, and it's I don't know.
I also agree I also agree. I've seen young people come and say they see themselves in me or whatsoever, how they say it. I'm already living their future. And I tell them to go with me to an event, and I'm finishing one event, and the next morning I'm up for another event.
Yeah.
And they are telling me, how do you do? And I'm the one driving because I like driving sometimes. I like driving most times. And then tomorrow I'm walking back to back. I came back from Canada on Friday.
You're traveling and you're night flights.
I came back from Canada on Friday. Saturday I had an event. Sunday I had an event. On Monday I had an event. Some of them broke down. Different time zone, and my guy couldn't. The guy that he couldn't handle it because he just said he wanted to go and sleep. I'd left because for me, I've been working on I need to work. So they believe that okay, when it can happen. There's no I say to people, there's no overnight success. Everybody that you see that is successful. I know it's good to have to work smart, but most people that you see that are making money today worked for it. I know. But I wish they knew better that mentorship made it very easy. So it's a topic that we can't finish today because of time. Because I know that Titi will have something to say. Her Excellency, Ruth will have something to say. I want to hear because also I have a topic like this on the 27th that has to do with Gen Z, and I really want to see how we can. But for me, I feel that storytelling also very important. Share your story as a young person. Share your story, how you went through the process. Share your story. Let people know that this is what you did to get to this way, because they feel that when they see you drive the big cars, they see you enjoy life right now, enjoy luxury. They just feel that it happened overnight, especially when you have a young face. They just feel that this young person they drive. This young person did that, this kind of car. They don't understand the process when you started at 17, when you started at 16, and where you are right now. You're seeing the results.
No, but they actually think it's too long. Your process is too long. How can they do this? They have to buy land now, house now, travel now, right? So I want to just say before we get back in that everyone.
Before we go.
No, we are not going yet. Please, just a minute. I want to say that the people on YouTube, the people that are watching the live stream, if you have comments, I've typed in comments. If you have comments and questions, this will be the right time to post it. So please, if you want to contribute, say anything. I see a number of people have said congratulations to Titi, for a master's, and they said some other things. So I just want to say, somebody mentioned, reverse mentoring, and they are really great comments. But if you have any question for anyone, this is the time to say. And if you have comments, also post it there so we can read it out with your name and go on. So Ruth, you can continue.
So I think with Gen Z, patience is needed. Just like we would expect other people, other generations to be patient with us, right?
Yeah.
We need to have a vision for Gen Z, which would include mentorship, right? Policies, whatever that is. And then the willingness to accept, the acceptance of them for who they are. There's something that you said that I was thinking that young people should be energetic and all that. But actually, if you think about it, maybe when you were younger, or I can speak for myself, I may have been energetic, but I was not efficient, right? I could do a limited number of things. With age, you learn shortcuts, or with age or with experience, let me put it that way. You learn shortcuts, you learn to think differently, you are wiser.
Yes.
So you actually can pack in more. Like I have seen my capacity increase with my years and with my experience, right? So, so I think there should be some kind of patience and understanding there where you weren't this efficient 20 years ago. I wasn't, right? But today I am. So I can mentor someone and gradually help them grow if they are willing to learn and see the errors of their ways and
willing
grow.
To learn.
The growth mindset, But just see the Gen Z and expect them to be energetic and get things done. That's a very tall order that I
have an example.
Yeah, so
I have an example of this, what we just said, and this is so funny to me because I saw it on Instagram and somebody put up a dance challenge on TikTok, right? And then somebody responded to the dance challenge and was telling her that, please, this dance challenge is for people on Instagram because the people on Instagram are older people. they on TikTok, they are young people. They are not supposed to be stressed, right? That they are not supposed to be stressed. So let him show her the kind of dance challenge that they do on TikTok, right? And he just did one funny slow motion, one thing, and see, it was funny, but it was also extremely rude. I felt like he didn't have to address her like that. Why, like, and I think that, but you know what people did was just go around and make fun of it and try to cover it up. But he said some things that I thought were, and he was just trying to say that, he too, that was ageism. I felt that was ageism. Are you trying to say that some people of ages should not be on TikTok because it's supposed to be for the younger, more fun, people? And he's already saying that Instagram is for old people.
Yeah, it's like I say, the patriarchy and the stereotype is subtle. It happens like every single day. You're having a conversation, but we don't know. Thank God for the enlightenment we're having today. So one of the strategies I think can work with working with Gen Z is identify what their strengths are. So Sako gave an example of that guy that followed him and could not cope. He might be able to work from home and he will do better.
Yes, I agree. Titi, I agree. And that's true. Anything that has to do with most of the videos that you see me put out, it has great strength. Guess what? This guy is awake in the middle of the night reading. So I agree. I agree. So I agree.
Physical strength to
they might not have that physical strength, but give them an assignment, they would do it.
That they can do over the internet.
Agree.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I have a platform of over 200 and something ladies that I mentor, and from time to time, organizations reach out to me, for to recruit and all that. I don't know if we discussed that before. So on some occasions, I send people out, this organization needs it. Sometimes it comes fast. So maybe the person reached out to me today and they need them to come around tomorrow. At the beginning, I had issues because these ladies could not really meet up. And at the end of the day, I had to reach out to maybe guys. And the guys will go there the next day. Do you understand? But I started to find other strengths that these ladies had.
Yes.
Every individual in this world has a potential. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to get them to, understand their potentials or use it. So for Gen Z, try as much as possible to identify one potential or one skill that person has, and focus your attention on that, and from there they can build. That's just my takeaway point.
Yeah. All right. So I think we can be bringing the conversation to a close. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it because I'm loving it. I got Sako to have a chat with me now. He's not busy running around the world.
Yes.
This is how I'll be trapping you now.
Okay. So I'm just going to quickly say to them that there are 4 major ways for some JZs that feel that mentorship, 4 things that is important in mentorship. There are 4 things: the power of observation, the power of explanation, the power of experience and revelation. The power of observation. One thing that you must always do if you want to get the attention of any mentor is to get to observe them. When you get to observe somebody, you will know their strength, you know their weakness, you know the thing that they love. When you observe them, there are some questions you wouldn't even ask your mentors if you observe them. That's how you see some people ask questions and say, where's this question coming from? Because if you've observed me for a while, you won't ask me that question. So the power of observation, the power of explanation. So when you observe, you ask questions from what you've observed, and the person will explain it. The person will be so excited to say, oh, this person observed what I said. And then there's a place of, as an entrepreneur, as a young person, you will have your own experience. Most of these things we are talking about US, talking about Canada, when you begin to talk about and connect with the things that we're learning today, you will have your own experience. I remember my mentor used to talk about UK. Then UK looked like a big deal. Today, UK is no longer a big deal for me. Okay, and then the last one, the power of revelation, where God begins to, because above everything, God is the supreme. It begins to reveal to you from the place of observation, experience. You begin to know what your assignment is. You can't afford to give up right now because destinies are tied to you. Look at us today sharing our story. We've gone through all the ups and downs, but today we are standing. So I just want to say that to somebody, your best is yet to come. Thank you so much, you two, for having me. Excellency Ruth, Excellency Titi. I look forward to doing business and doing good business with you people.
You
Thank you.
will, you will.
Thank you so
Trust
much.
me, you will.
I think we talked a lot about ageism, but maybe it'd be good to wrap up with inclusion, right?
Yes,
Because I
please.
know we talked both, but you know, people don't really understand what inclusion is sometimes, and it's really about fostering an environment that, you know, values everyone, connects everyone, you know, and then, you know, make sure that people feel like they belong or their contributions matter. And so whenever we think about, you know, Gen Z makes up a significant population in our world, right
now,
especially in Africa, right? You know, so we should continuously think about, am I valuing Gen Z sufficiently as I'm thinking about my marketing campaigns, as I think about what I put out there? Am I disrespecting them and saying, oh, they are lazy, they're entitled, they are, you know, am I connecting with them? Like, look at Titi, amazing work she's doing mentoring ladies. So she can probably tell us the latest, what's going on, the latest fashion, the latest slangs and all that, because, you know, she belongs. And, you know, just respecting everyone and everyone's opinion, you know, as they make contributions, and showing that understanding and, you know, acceptance and appreciation. So I think with that, you know, we would truly have an inclusive place, and our world will be better for it.
So yes, thank you so much, Ruth. That's it. Inclusion is such a good thing. And I recently started really talking more about, you know, gender equity and social inclusion and diversity and equity and all that. You know, I've gotten really into that, and it just opened my eyes to see that along generational gaps, whether we're talking of gender or ageism or whatever it is, you know, or diversity, right? We have to find equity. Equity is kind of the center of it all. How can we create a level playing field for everyone? You know, that's what equity says, it's fairness, right? So yes, we don't want to condone misdemeanor. We don't want to condone laziness or slothfulness or whatever it is that people come with, but we want to be able to understand their experiences. We want to be able to understand the times, you know, that they're existing. You know, we want to be able to ensure that they can fit into our existence, our lives, our institutions, and our platforms, and contribute maximally. You know, the best, because of all the mentoring I've done for different people, women of different ages, actually, I understand that when I'm dealing with this category of people, I have to be a certain way to be able to engage them and get the best out of them, right? And when I'm engaging this other kind of people, I have to be like this. So there are people I engage with, and it's 7 a.m. in the morning that we do sessions, because that's when they have time, right? There are other people I engage with, and oh my God, it has to be 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. or smack in the middle of the day because of the way their lives and things are. So it's equity. We have to have level playing field, fairness, and then inclusion brings them in, all their experiences, all they're going through and everything, the dynamics, you know, of the environment right now and the age that we are even living in, right? Not forgetting that there is a future. Everybody has a future, no matter what the age is. There's still tomorrow, and we have to plan for tomorrow. That's where policies come in. That's where you know, governance and leadership comes in, to ensure that whatever is being put into structure or into systems are things that can endure the test of time, are things that can be easily evolved as the world changes, so that everybody can still find a place and our world can still be safe and livable and enjoyable for people across all ages. Right, across all ages, we can live, cohabit, work together, and that's critical for me. So I thank everyone. I thank you for the conclusion and the end that we've come to here. I thank for all your contributions. I thank you for your intellect, you know, and the time that you spent with us. I want to thank Ruth so much for, you know, we know the time right now where you are, and you're just sitting up and giving us such wisdom. Thank you so much. I always tell her that she's so wise, honestly. She's super wise, right? And Titi, thank you for sharing with us from the, you know, experiences that you've had. You know, everybody here has experiences because you've had to deal with young people all the time because of the status you have. You know, you have to mentor and bring people up. And I know Sako has been through a lot, because in his industry, you can imagine the kind of people that are coming up to Sako to say, mentor me, I want to,
I know, right?
I want to be a comedian, I want to be the next. They're just varied,
Yeah.
A very wide stretch of people. And he has been so good. Takwa has given me so many tips. I've attended his trainings. I've learned so much about just holding the mic, being on stage and carrying people along. And
It's gonna be a good day at the book launch because
yes, it is,
our
because I'm going to bring
doctor.
everything that Takwa has taught me. And we must record it so that even if he can't
Yes,
come,
please,
he
please record
can
it.
watch, so he
Please.
can
We'll be
see what he
looking
has
forward
been teaching me, right?
Yes, please.
I've been
Yes,
learning.
please.
I've been learning from
Please,
afar off.
share some of the proceeds you made from all the jobs that you've been. Share the money, share it.
Yes.
No problem. She has my account number, GTB. EOT, you can do it. You can do it. I use GTB.
Oh, God.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you greatly.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Will be in dollars.
Yes.
I didn't get that.
Anything from roots will be in dollars.
Yes.
Hallelujah. I need to get to the root of this matter. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Father, confirm your word. I confirm it. Thank you so much, sis. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. You can all sign out now. God bless you. We'll bring you back another time. We're so excited. One-on-one, or we'll just give you the platforms. Just take it over, take it over. So I'm just going to be rounding up now. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening to the conversations. You can keep putting your comments in the chat, because we're going to ensure that we read them and we put them into our reports and implement them into our programs that we have for young people. So if you want to know more about Jewels Network, please just go to www.jewelsnetwork.org and you see our programs and events there. Right now, we have an adopted community in Takwa Bay, where we work with vulnerable women and girls to just help them enhance their lives with trainings, with support, with money, with food, with everything. We do a lot of motivation. We do medical outreaches and we just provide support. If you want to be part of it, please drop a comment as well in the chat that you want to be part of it. And then our ladies are all over the chat right now. Well done, Jewels. They will take your contact, or they'll take your name or something, and we'll be able to reach out to you and you'll be able to connect with us. Please check us out on all social media platforms at Jewels Network, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Tell us how this has been for you and how you will want to partner with us. We're looking forward to more partnerships so we can make greater influence and effect and impact in the communities of our choice and with the women that we work with. We also work with resourceful women. So our mandate is to raise resourceful women, improve their resourcefulness so that they can take those resources and also help vulnerable women and girls. So if you're a resourceful woman and you want to share off your resources, whether it's your time or your money or your intellect or just your opportunities or platforms exposure, we would love to connect with you and work with you. All right. So this is from me, Ihotu Eritosin Gregory, founder of Jewels Network. I'm so excited to sign out right now and go keep working with my people from all generations. Ageism is not bad. It's just the way we use it. Inclusion is critical. Everybody find a way to include everybody in your life and in all that you do. So God bless you. Thank you so much. And it's goodbye for now.